Advertising has always sought to identify or create a desire in you. It often exploits your appearance, social pressures, convenience, and or sex to incite a feeling of inadequacy to get you interested in a product or service. Instagram presses all of those buttons, but in a unique way, in a way that I would dare call genius. Pure genius. It uses a fake synthetic type of social pressure, and it uses it really well. Before, you saw a product or service advertised on TV and it wasn't exactly attainable. It didn't even feel that way. It seemed quite artificial. After all, you didn't know anybody who was hanging out next to the pool with 34 beautiful models who came running over every time you cracked open a can of soda or a can of beer. Nor did you know anybody who could attract the attention of every desirable man in the room just by having eyelashes that were long enough. Maybe she's born with it. However, on Instagram, you kind of know the people that you're following, and it feels like you have a stronger connection and that you are more on the same level with the people that you're seeing every day. The lives you see there feel more attainable because they're just a few very convenient clicks away. So you feel much worse that you haven't attained the level of success that you see. In other words, you feel inadequate. In the past, advertisers had to cultivate a sense of inadequacy in a 30-second commercial. They had to titillate or entertain in some way while igniting your desire or sense of need. Now, your being on Instagram means you're constantly being softened up. So if you're on Instagram 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours a day, you are constantly having that inadequacy button pushed, poked, and prodded. It's like watching a never-ending stream of souped-up, sexed-up Super Bowl commercials without all that pesky football. But the real genius here is that the social pressure gets you to create content that helps soften up everybody else so that Instagram can sell more ads that get more people who are already feeling more inadequate to buy things they probably don't really need. In addition, if you want Instagram to boost your content to more eyeballs, you actually have to pay them more money. So what you get is a swamp of content that makes you feel inadequate so that Instagram can sell you ads for a bunch of stuff that they don't make that you probably don't need. They don't have to create shows or put on a big sporting event. You are creating all the content that keeps dragging you and all your friends back to the platform. You feel pulled and compelled to check back and scroll through just to see what's new if anybody's liked you every 3 minutes. Working together, we succeed in making each other feel inadequate so that we feel compelled to buy products and services that help solve problems that wouldn't exist if we weren't on Instagram. Now, of course, only a small percentage of us are actually buying things at any given time, but that doesn't really concern Meta and Instagram because they are just making money off of the ads that somebody is paying for to get access to your eyeballs. For Meta, it means they just need an engineering team and an interface optimization team to make sure you stay hooked. That's why revenues from Instagram keep going up, and so does the net profit margin for Meta. The only other operating cost of Instagram is your mental health, and that doesn't cost Meta anything at all because you give it away for free to Meta because of the strong social pressures to be on there. The result is pure profit, pure genius. Well done, sir. And that's why I quit and have given up entirely on Instagram. I do have an account for my business and I used to post content there, but I realized that Instagram doesn't ever pay for my content. And unless I pay Instagram, the content that I put out to help other people likely won't show up to the people who need it. That's a big difference from YouTube, though that doesn't mean that YouTube will forever be the good guy, if you can even call it a good guy. Censorship. But in 2025, I still think it's a better guy. People can search and find your content, even if it's a month or a year old. Used right, YouTube can still be helpful and instructive and add something really of value to your life. It can help you solve real problems in the real world, rather than just creating the perception that you have a never-ending stream of problems with your face, your skin, your body, your chest, your butt. The number of friends Of course, you may not feel like Instagram has a deleterious effect on your mind or your mood. You may not feel like it has any negative effect at all. I have known many people who have made that claim. And if that's the case, I issue you a friendly invitation. This is going to be tough. Take the app off your phone for one single day and don't try logging in on your laptop or some other device. One full day off. If during that day you don't feel any Pavlovian pull to check the now missing app on your phone every 3 minutes or every 30 minutes or every 3 seconds, where's my phone? You're probably fine. But if you find yourself itching and feeling lost and irritable and then a little bit angry at me for making you do the stupid exercise, consider the strength of your reliance. Some might use the word addiction to Instagram, and then consider extending the experiment for one more day. Yes, I said do it for another day. And if during that second day you are still twitchy and feeling profoundly bored, try it for another day. Because I promise things will actually start to get a little better. You see, there's a timeline for this, and you will notice benefits the longer you go. I know I did. Are you interested in hearing the timeline? Here's a general timeline you can expect as you run this no Instagram experiment. In that first 6 to 12 hours, you're going to notice some mild symptoms, but it's on days 1 to 3 where your symptoms are going to reach their peak and they might persist for 10 days or possibly even longer. But generally, after 1 week, you're going to notice your symptoms start to subside. And from week 2 and on, you're going to notice things hopefully improve pretty noticeably week by week by week, though it might be a longer process for some. My own experience with Instagram withdrawal mirrored this timeline pretty closely. Your timeline might vary, but it's likely to be something along these lines. And if you want to look up this chart for reference to help you understand where you are in the process, you can find this easily for free online. I'll link it down below. It's on Psych Central. Just go to that website and search for heroin withdrawal. All this isn't to say that I'll never be on Instagram ever again, but I'll never give myself unfettered access to Instagram again. Anytime I've experimented with that in the last few years, I quickly fall back into compulsive use that drains my time, my energy, and my mental health. So like a good recovering addict, I make sure I do not have easy access to the substance that I know could derail and destroy my entire life. If alcohol was destroying your work or your relationships or in some way derailing your life, you would probably not want to hang out at wine bars. If a gambling addiction were stealing your time, energy, and money and destroying your family relationships, it would be a good idea to not hang out on the Las Vegas Strip. You would just not want to live in Las Vegas, period. Ultimately, I recognize the game that's being played on Instagram. It's an open secret that we all know. It's public knowledge. We understand how Meta makes money. I recognize the pure genius of this setup, and still, I choose not to be a pawn who gets sacrificed for the king's profit. And abstaining from Instagram helps me keep my life simple, which helps me stay happy, focused, and productive.